It's another fine evening here at the Genessee River. We'll start out with the cast over there by that log. The water is really high today. It's about 12 inches higher than it usually is this time of year after all the rain that we've had, but the water is somewhat reasonably clear today. The current is extremely strong and the lure is practically straight downstream by now. It takes a lot of energy just to stand still here without falling over. It wouldn't be good to fall down in this. It certainly wouldn't have a happy ending. That hit like a bullet. Did you hear the real squeak when I set that hook? This is a big one. Man, that current's really working against me here. It's really important to keep that fishing line tight so this guy doesn't dive down into the rocks and cut it. It's only a 4-pound test, and with this current it's going to be a real challenge to land this fish. The annual trout derby is being held here this weekend, so it was really important to get some fishing in today while it was still possible because the weather doesn't look so good for the next few days and it might be another week. I really need to get this fish in a position where I can net it from behind, but this current is really working against me and the fish is using it to its advantage. This trout would be a lot easier to land if I was to walk towards the bank where the water is a lot shallower and slower moving, but I wouldn't be able to get this entire catch on film. The big rocks in the bottom of this riverbed can normally be seen when looking down when the water is clear, but today the water is just murky enough that isn't possible. It would be very easy to trip over a rock or get an ankle caught in between two and break it. This is a very unforgiving place to have any kind of an accident. Sometimes the fish will actually help out by swimming close enough for you to net it, but this guy isn't cooperating. It's too smart for that. This is definitely going to be a formidable foe. The Genessee River has been really good to me the last 5 or 6 years. After all the success that's been enjoyed here, it's never going to be possible to enjoy fishing for trout in a lake again. If the stream isn't fairly fast moving and shallow, with a mostly rocky and shale bottom, there isn't much interest in ever going there to fish. Cattaraugus Creek is another fine place to go fishing. The use of waders has revolutionized fishing. After using these, I've seen what an advantage they are, and it's a whole different world out there. It'll never be possible to go back to offshore fishing either. I've never had this much difficulty netting a trout before. There's been many taken that were 14 to 17 inches in length, but none of them were this big. The trout is definitely bigger than the net. It's going to have to be taken carefully from behind. Between the current, the strength of the fish, and the fact that this is only 4-pound test line, I'm afraid to just scoop at it from the side or the front, because if that line hits against the net, it can break the line. The same net was used about 1.5 years ago while steelhead fishing in Cattaraugus Creek with my friend Corey the Sports Wolf Higgins. I caught a nice 25-inch steelhead that day, but he was there to net it for me. Of course, the water that we were fishing in wasn't quite as fast moving, but it is possible, but a lot more challenging to do it oneself. There it is, finally close enough. I think the fish is getting tired. Yes, there it is. It's a beautiful 22.5-inch rainbow trout. One of the biggest I ever caught in my life, and I got it on film. Yeah! Most of the time I like to practice catch and release, but this one's going to be dinner. I caught it with an ultralight rod and 4-pound test line.